Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, our picks for who's going to win the Weenie 500.
Also, Tesla owners, what is up with this?
All that and more on the way next. Here's a crazy stat for you. Since 1997, teams in the NBA playoffs leading by 9 points or more in the final minute of a game. 1,431. And that one is the New York Knicks.
Yep.
After last night, 8772 Radio U, the New York Knicks blew what at one point was a 17-point fourth quarter lead to the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers wound up storming back, came back, got the game to overtime, and then won it in overtime, where the Pacers could have just won it at the end of regulation with a great buzzer beater from Tyrese Halliburton. That made the shot to tie the game. If he trimmed his toenails, it would have been a three-pointer, and they would have just won right then and there.
Well, no, he was fully over the line.
But nevertheless, the Knicks, quite a collapse. But
yes.
Also the Pacers, like 17 points down in the fourth quarter with like 3 minutes left to go. Teams don't typically keep on trying at that point. They're like, all right, I guess we'll come back for game two. Let's make sure we're healthy and fresh. And the Pacers stormed back. Incredible shooting from Aaron Nesmith, particularly, right?
I think it's Naismith.
Naismith, and they get the game.
Yeah, this is the Pacers, man. I mean, as a Cavs fan, I feel like I can speak to this quite well. They just never give up. They have that mentality. I don't know if you want to call it, they got that dog in them. I don't know what you want to refer to it as, but they just, as you said, will not give up. They have no quit. And it doesn't matter. They could be playing anywhere. They could be playing in anybody's arena, and they are going to give themselves a fighting chance to win a game. Even if they're down by 17 points with 3 minutes left, or 9 points with 1 minute left, they're going to give themselves a shot to win.
And the way that they can shoot the three and the way the three-pointers are in the NBA now, you can make a 17-point comeback in almost no time.
Yeah.
Especially when the Knicks struggle to find a lot of offense in the end of the game. Jalen Brunson had foul trouble. And outside of him, and Karl Anthony Towns did actually have a great game last night. He scored a lot of points, but they just they can get very lost on offense sometimes, and that was definitely true last night when they were just trying to milk out the clock and close down the game, and they could not do it. And then once it was do or die in overtime, just a lot. I mean, they turned the ball over with 19 seconds left in overtime, which gave the Pacers the chance to win the game. But before that, there was like 4 or 5 near misses that probably should have been turnovers. They got very fortunate, weren't. And so the Pacers just kept on making them make mistakes, and the Knicks kept on almost making mistakes that could have made this even worse. But now the Knicks are down 0-1, and I'm telling you, Ali, I don't think the Knicks are coming back. I think you need to get this game if you're the Knicks to win the series.
Yeah, you absolutely need to win game 2. But yeah, I would say the signs are pointing that these Pacers are unstoppable. I felt this way, and I know I mentioned this after that Cavs series finished up, where I just feel like the Pacers just have something about them. Because in a moment when you would think karma is going to come after you, Tyrese Halliburton hits the Reggie Miller choke celebration.
When he tied the game.
He thought he hit a 3, and everybody's holding up a 2. All the fans are holding up a 2 in his face. And, you could see he's kind of visibly disappointed. He thought he won the game.
Yeah.
That's a moment when most teams wouldn't come back from a celebration like that. It would be like it would end up in a compilation of when teams celebrated too early, and then this happened. And yet, no, the Pacers just have that about them, that even if they hit a celebration too early, they're still going to win.
They never seems to come back to get them. But once it's them and the Thunder in the finals, I think that's when it'll finally end. But in the meantime, Pacers fans, just enjoy it for now.
Oh, yes. Enjoy this.
Yeah. What a win. This weekend's going to be awesome. Long weekend, Memorial Day. For a lot of people, that means a lot of sports. The Indy 500 is always this weekend. I don't care about that. 8772 Radio U. I couldn't name somebody who's racing in the Indy 500. But I am looking forward to the Oscar Mayer Weenie 500, which is coming up tomorrow. Yeah! The Weenie 500 is going to be a high-stakes race. 6 Wienermobiles squaring off. Only one can be the hot dog champion. And I cannot wait to check this out tomorrow.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Also, all of them are going to be different. I know when you think of the wiener dog from Oscar Mayer, you think of like the same type of, car thing.
I don't even know. The Wienermobile, does it even have a bun? Or is it literally just a wiener?
I think it does have a bun. No
bun? Oh, well, what's the yellow thing underneath it?
I was going to say, what's it sitting on? We don't know. But yeah, for the most part,
that's
just
not what a hot dog bun is meant to look like. So I don't know what that is.
For the most part, it's just the hot dog.
It looks like a pontoon.
Yeah. It looks like it's on a floaty.
Yeah.
But all of them are going to be decorated and they're going to look different because they're all inspired by different regional hot dogs.
Okay. Which region are we cheering for?
Here's the thing. The one for the Midwest, even though that's kind of where we are, I don't even know if that's the one I like the most.
So I've got the breakdown here. There's the Shy Dog for the Midwest, which I never partake in a Shy Dog.
I don't order that.
First of all, they don't do ketchup on hot dogs, and so I can't get behind that.
Nope.
I can't. I mean, I can eat a hot dog without ketchup in certain cases, but saying that it's wrong, I think that it's very right to put ketchup on a hot dog.
I 100% agree with that. So I think
I can't cheer for that.
I think the one that I'm probably going to put my weight behind, even though I'm probably not going to watch this, but the one I put my weight behind is the East. The New York dog.
You're going with the New York dog. What are the toppings on that? Do we even know?
I don't know what they'll put on it, but I feel like the classic New York dog is to have it with just like some of the classic American toppings. Because I feel like that's where the whole hot dog street style thing even started.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. I mean, that makes sense. I think that'd be a worthy winner. The Southeast gets its own representative, the slaw dog. I don't do slaw on dogs.
I was going to say, is that coleslaw on a hot dog?
I don't know. That sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. The Southwest gets the Sonoran dog, which I have no idea what that would even be.
Nope.
But that's not yet the most baffling. There is the chili dog for just the South. So the South gets 3 hot dogs in this.
Yeah, or the southern part of the United States.
But I do like a chili dog, even though that's going to be like Texas style chili more than Cincinnati chili, but I love both on a hot dog, either one. And then this is the most baffling though, the Seattle dog. I'm a hot dog aficionado. What is a Seattle dog?
I've never heard of this.
Never heard of this.
Never heard.
What makes a Seattle dog unique? Does it have fish on it? Or Starbucks? I don't know. But I've never heard of a Seattle dog. I didn't know they had their own hot dog.
Let's look it up. Let's see what's on this.
You're going to look it up. Nothing's going to come up because it's not a thing nobody's ever heard of before.
Seattle style hot dog. Seattle dog is a hot dog specialty featuring cream cheese, grilled onions, and sometimes other toppings.
Well, actually, that doesn't sound bad. Okay, Seattle.
I don't know if I like cream cheese on a hot dog.
I can get that. I'll still cheer for the chili dog, but now I just want hot dogs. I'm just getting hungry.
Yeah.
So this is coming up. This is tomorrow at 2 Eastern, and you can stream it live in the Fox Sports app. I might have to download that to watch the Weenie 500.
I have to download an app to watch this? No thanks.
Allie, I'm not an old man. But I do kind of feel like in some place, there's some areas of life where I do feel like I'm getting old and out of touch. Here's one of them. Teslas. One of the things that Teslas have is battery-powered doors. Am I an old man for going, what do you need battery-powered doors for? Your arms don't work? Why do we need battery-powered doors in a car?
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't even want to get into this because it'll open like a can of worms, but almost all of the EV stuff, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I don't understand the battery-powered doors, particularly when an apparent known issue with Teslas is that if your battery dies, you can't easily get out of your car because the doors are powered by the battery.
Yeah.
So what I'm learning here is if you're sitting in the front seat of your Tesla, there is like a little compartment or like a little hatch that you can pull the lever and it cranks open the door for you. I don't know. Those used to just be on the doors, like in my cars.
Those used to be just door handles.
Yeah, every car used to have them.
Yeah.
Pretty easy access. But in a Tesla, it's easy to get that in the front seat. The problem is if you're in the back seat, not so easy.
Oh no.
It's there's a fairly convoluted compartment that contains a cable that you have to yank to trigger the mechanism to open the door.
A cable?
A cable. You have to yank a cable.
Why? Why? Can I just ask why?
This is
why
what I'm saying.
Necessary?
We could just have doors that you just open.
Oh my
with your arms.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So what people have done to just make it easier, there's now videos circulating for Tesla owners to DIY an emergency ripcord that you can install for passengers in your back seat to make sure they never get trapped in the Tesla in the event that the battery dies.
The fact that you have to go to those extremes just is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
I feel like this is one of the things that they definitely don't tell you when you're buying the Tesla.
Oh, absolutely not.
And then you maybe don't find out about it until you're trapped in the Tesla and it's too late. So I'm just trying to get this out there for all the Tesla owners who at this point honestly have their many other myriad issues to deal with. But this is one that like you easily avoided by just having doors that are able to just work.
Yeah.
And so I really maybe there's something missing about the Tesla experience that I just don't understand. But somebody explain it to me, please, because I don't get the battery powered door idea.
Yeah, listen, every car is going to have issues. Every car is going to have its quirks. Every car is going to have problems. But I have never once worried about my door.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be able to open it or not. It's always going to work for me. I just pull the
you
little
can count
lever
on that.
and it's going to open. And so, yeah.
Bet your bottom dollar.
I can bet my bottom dollar
No
on that.
matter what goes wrong in my Jeep, I'll be able to open the door.
I can open the car door.
Yeah. Even if raccoons get inside, I'll still be able to open the door. Not in a Tesla. Not easily if the battery dies.
Yeah.
I don't get it. The NFL owners voted yesterday and they decided the Tush Push gets to stay. It can keep on moving forward 1/2 yard at a time. It's not going anywhere. It was a close vote, though.
Very close.
In a proposal that was put forth very famously earlier this offseason by the Green Bay Packers, the proposal was to ban the Tush Push, which, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know exactly how they were intending to do that, like what the rule was going to be.
Yeah, how they were going to implement this.
But what wound up happening was in the vote yesterday, 22 owners voted in favor of banning the Tush Push. 10 voted to keep it. That's not enough to ban it.
It needed 24.
It needed 24, so it fell 2 votes short, and the Tush Push gets to stay around for at least another year or two. My prediction before we get into anything else is I think in a couple of years, once it becomes even more common, I think it actually will get banned because what I think is it's not a good play for TV. The NFL is a TV show. I don't think it's going to be very visually pleasing to have this happen a lot.
It's certainly not an exciting play. I believe it to be kind of the redheaded stepchild of the quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
Because quarterback sneak has always been a play in football for a very long time. Ever since I've watched football, they've always had quarterback sneak. This is just like an evolution of that, where they put a person behind the quarterback to, shove them in.
Yeah.
And so, we're always going to get plays that don't look good on TV, that are not as fun to watch as somebody breaking out and getting 20 yards. That's just, it's not going to happen. But I do agree with you that eventually I think it will get banned because 22 of the owners already don't want it.
Yeah.
That's the majority, the big majority. So it's not even like it's close. A lot of owners already are convinced that this is not a good football play. So it's not going to take a lot of effort to get 2 more to jump on board.
Yeah, but I do think what has annoyed me following this is just the argument about it.
Yeah.
Of particularly Eagles fans, of course, saying that everybody else in the league is soft and they're just upset that they can't do it and blah, blah, blah. I also believe this. Like I said, it's going to become more commonplace.
Yeah.
You even saw, like, for my Packers, which, yeah, people are like, oh, the Packers put this proposal forward. They don't, they're soft. They can't stop the Eagles, so they don't want. The Packers, Jordan Love, like, you're putting your quarterback at risk if it's not Jalen Hurts, if it's not like one of the biggest, toughest guys at quarterback in the league. So what the Packers started doing later in the year was letting their tight end run it. And other teams have kind of done that, moved towards that too.
Yep.
And they're going to continue to work on that. And so while not every team can run it effectively now, I really think that by the end of this year or next year, like, almost every team will have a tush push play that pretty much works. And it's just going to be... It's almost like the intentional walk-in baseball where you're like, why are we even wasting time with this play when it's just going to work every time?
Yeah, I know.
Like, we already know the outcome of it. We might as well, we don't need this.
Right. I get what you mean for sure. And we'll see. This is just how sports work. When one team tries something and they see some type of moderate success with it, the other teams follow. And this is just adding an extra wrinkle to this because obviously people want to ban it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think, but, Eagles fans celebrate now. I also don't think that, like...
They have plenty of reasons to celebrate, not just because this play is not going anywhere.
The reverse is like I saw a lot of people saying this on Twitter and stuff yesterday was, if the Eagles didn't have this, they would suck. You know what I mean? And it's like, did you see how they blew out the Chiefs?
That's ridiculous.
I don't know if they even ran a tush push in that game.
They didn't need to.
They did not need to. They are a good team. I don't like the play.
Yeah,
but
sure.
What I'm hoping for is for a Packers fan, that the Packers wind up running this even better than the Eagles do in 2025. We'll see.
Hudson, do you know what the most misunderstood Bible verse is?
Is this like scientific or just an opinion you have?
It's probably more opinion, but I do think this one is one of the most.
Okay. Then I have no idea.
It's Matthew 19:24.
Okay.
So the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 24, and it says, "Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God." Probably one of the hardest verses in the Bible to understand.
Yeah,
and
great visual, though.
Great visual, but also, like, if you're reading it out of context and also reading it with little understanding to what Jesus, those are the words of Jesus, is referring to, you could be like, well, does God hate rich people?
Yeah.
Does God hate money? What does this mean? And no, God does not hate rich people and God does not hate money, even though some people have used this verse to kind of justify that understanding. But a lot of people mistranslate that. What I do believe what it's referring to is that God does not hate money, but he does hate what money can do to us sometimes. Because money, or at least the love of money, or the pursuit, the hunt of money, it's like a psychological thing.
Yeah.
It can do things to us. Suddenly our focus shifts to that pursuit, to that hunt of like, well, I just want to be rich. I just want to, have money and it could be valuable reasons why you want that. You want to provide for your family.
Security, yeah.
There's all sorts of reasons why that happens. But again, if you let that hunt drive you, your focus shifts to things it shouldn't be focused on because suddenly getting rich is more important than your family. It's more important than spending time with God. And that becomes your priority.
There's been so many, like, they're more older movies now because I think this was a really thing in the 80s, but you'd see the movie of, like, the family where the guy is the dad, so wrapped up in work, always at the office, never has time for his kids. And that feels, maybe that was more of that time than now where we're getting a little lazier. But But we still want the money.
Yeah.
We just don't want to spend all the hours at the office.
We don't want to work for it anymore. No, yeah. But again, our priorities shift when we let that be what drives us and we let that be our focus. It gives us that false sense. And when we suddenly do become rich, so the pursuit of it is gone, it gives us a safety net, but a false safety net because Suddenly we think money can be the solution to our problems. We can buy ourselves out of whatever issue we're dealing with. And now we're not relying on God anymore. We're not relying on the people around us anymore to help us through a situation. We think we have all the answers because we have this safety net known as money. So no, I don't think God hates money. In fact, the Bible does later say that it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Because money itself is not evil, but it's the corruption that can come from it when you let it be your main focus in life that can really be your downfall.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And it shows there's so many great, again, I just think of everything in TV and movies. There's so many like Succession shows, how you can be rich from the day you're born to the day you die. And some people that earn that are can be very tough, but like you can also be very fragile. No matter how rich you become, you can be so fragile because you don't actually have a lot of support in your life.
Right.
You just have your money to lean back on, then that's it. But the money doesn't care about you.
No, the money doesn't care about you. And here's the thing. God just wants us to acknowledge the truth, which is apart from him, we can do nothing. The only safety net this life offers is Christ. Money is not a safety net. Yeah, it can feel like that sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's gone.
There are problems that money can't solve.
Exactly. And the only safety net that you truly can rely on is Christ. So God just wants us to acknowledge that truth, that apart from him, we can do nothing. So we need to remember to put the first things first. Don't let money drive you. Don't go stop working now. That's not what I'm saying, and that's not what God's saying.
Yeah.
You should be a diligent worker, and you should want to provide for your family. But don't let it become your main thing.
Don't let it stand between you and God, and it doesn't have to. So start talking to God about that and find out from him. Like maybe spend at least a little bit of time with God compared to how much time you spend trying to earn money all the time or trying to win money or whatever your way you do it is. You can talk to God wherever you are. You can start a relationship with him just by saying, hey, Jesus, I want that. And you can find out more at radiou.com/free gift. We do have the Radio U hotline open.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Talking about whether it's okay to use a coupon on a first date or not. Allie says usually yes, right?
I would say yes. I think that it's totally fine for somebody to use a coupon because, you want to save some money in the world right now. It's not a bad thing.
Okay. Let's see. We've got some other responses coming in. Dylan says the first date's about making a solid impression, not flexing your coupon skills, not flexing your money. But that's showing that you save money, though, is the tough thing for me.
That's the thing is I think how could you, and this is from Kathy, I think she sums it up, like why would anyone be upset for someone taking advantage of a discount?
Yeah.
If you ask someone if they would pay more for something, knowing there was the same thing cheaper, they would always want to pay less.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely right. It's a very reasonable way to go about things. It doesn't, to me, it's not saying that they're cheap. It's just saying that they're smart.
Yeah, I think so too. Mia says if you're too proud to save money, you're not ready for marriage, kids, or Costco. It's a first date, but the point kind of does. This is what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking I would feel weird using a coupon on a first date. I don't think I'd go out of my way to try to find, like if we're going to wherever we're going.
Yeah, it's like if you happen to have one, you would use it.
Or like if you're paying in the app, or if I have a gift card, it's probably more likely. Like I'm gonna say, oh, let's go to BJ's, the restaurant, not the wholesale club. I've got a gift card. I might not advertise that, but I might suggest BJ's as the first date.
Yes,
because that's just smart, saving money.
I'm totally fine with that.
But obviously at some point it's okay to use a coupon on subsequent dates.
Yeah.
So if you can't use it on the first date, what date number is it okay to use it on? And so I feel like there's no obvious number there. So I feel like the first date should be fine. It should be fine.
It should be fine at any point because here's the thing. Again, like I said, I do believe I'm kind of traditional in this way that the guy pays. And however he chooses to do that, I'm okay with. I'm going to be grateful that he paid for my meal for that date. I'm not going to be like, well, why did you use a gift card? And am I not good enough to pay full price? Like, no, I'm not going to think that. Like,
and if you do, that's a red flag and we don't need to be together.
Exactly.
We don't need another date.
That would be a very red flag move on my part if I felt that way.
Let's see. Susanna says that using coupons on a first date is a giant green flag. Bryn says coupon, not coupon.
Coupon.
I've always said coupon.
Yeah, I say coupon.
I think I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I have too.
But let's not get.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
But you did ask for how to pronounce it, so don't be mad at Bryn for sharing.
So I wanted to give life to that.
Yeah.
I think I forgot. I do have a survey on this, and while it's not a big difference, 56% of Americans think it's okay to use a coupon on a first date.
So majority.
Yeah, a slight majority. So in other words, though, if you use a coupon on a first date, there's a 50-50 chance it's going to go well. Or that's going to go over well.
Right.
So keep that in mind. While it is majority approved of, it doesn't mean it's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
If you've ever thought to yourself, Tom Brady, Logan Paul, what's so special about them? I could beat them. I could do what Tom Brady does. Now you have a chance to put your money where your mouth is. Coming up next month, this was just announced, the Fanatics Games. We're going to put 50 pro athletes up against 50 average guys and gals head to head in different competitions for a chance to see, to win some prizes, of course, but also to see, like, how do the average Joes stack up against the pros.
Oh boy, this is it's going to be a landslide. It's not going to go well.
I know. I'm like, how are they going to make it fair?
Right. I remember a few years ago, Survivor did the whole thing where they were like Survivor fans versus Survivor favorites. The favorites won by so much. I mean, the fans didn't have any chance.
Yeah. Why
are we obsessed with this? This is a
I don't
bad
know.
idea.
We so severely underestimate how special pro athletes are.
Yeah.
And not just at the sport they play, too.
Right. They're just athletic in general.
And I even feel like Tom Brady is not he's not a fast guy.
No, definitely not.
I think in his 24 or however many years he played, he had 1,000 rushing yards.
Running is not his strong suit.
No, it's not. He's not, and he's not a big, strong guy in terms of NFL, but I still feel like you put him in so many other sports and he's going to beat the average person that's even kind of good at basketball or kind of good at I don't even know.
Yeah, he's still very athletic, so he's going to show up to the pickleball court and absolutely destroy your rec league because he's got the size, he's got the stamina, all of the things that most regular people can't work on an everyday basis.
The hand-eye coordination and the instant processing of knowing what to do, that translates to so many other things that aren't sports.
Right.
Or that aren't the sport that aren't being quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
And by the way, Tom Brady, honestly, he would be one of the easier people to take on out of these 50 athletes because some of the other ones that have been announced, Jaden Daniels from the Washington Commanders. We mentioned Logan Paul from the WWE, also Cody Rhodes and Liv Morgan from WWE. Kevin Durant is going to be in this.
Okay.
You're gonna get destroyed, you average Joes. What are you doing?
What are you doing out here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the prizes though, there's a prize of $1 million. Also, you could win a Ferrari, a Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron James Topps Chrome Gold Refractor. I believe this would be his rookie card.
Whoa.
So that'd be a pretty big deal.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. So some cool prizes on the line. What is Tom Brady going to do with the LeBron James rookie card? What does he need that for?
I mean, it's just a cool thing to add to your thing.
Your mantle. Maybe auctions it off for charity or something afterwards. Yeah. But I do kind of want to watch this just because you
want to see fans get destroyed?
Yep, beat down. Absolutely. I think that'd be fun, especially if they do a lot of trash talking beforehand.
Oh, yeah. That's happening.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Tom Brady or Logan Paul go up against some average person, and before they go up against each other, it shows all this person's tweets about that athlete.
No,
that would be outstanding.
That would be sick.
The greatest. Honestly, that would be better than just watching an NFL game and then watching them get destroyed.
Yes.
All I don't think I've ever agonized so much about a first to worst.
It's been tough out here.
Today, our topic, Allie and I each get to pick our first and worst choices from whatever the topic is. And for today, fast food burgers.
Yep.
Rule is, it's got to be a restaurant that typically has a drive-through.
Yes.
And I have a Mount Rushmore of firsts.
Okay.
And then 3 that I could have chosen for worst. And I don't feel good about any of this.
No, I don't either.
But I'm just going to say it. I get to pick first. Best fast food burger. Culver's.
Okay.
I feel like it's a good meat in the middle between, like, I like a really good juicy burger.
Okay.
But I also like a steak burger that's, thin and whatever.
So you're just choosing brand? You're not choosing specific burger?
I wasn't going to go too specific. I mean, if there is a specific burger at a specific place.
I was thinking specific burger.
I don't have a butter burger. I don't know. Like, I was just going to go chain. So
okay.
Culver's. And for worst, I'm going Sonic. I still don't feel great about it, and I like Sonic for some things, but I've just never had a burger at Sonic that pleased me.
It made you want to go back.
Yeah, so that's not what I order there, and so I use this very loosely, but worst fast food chain burger, Sonic.
Yeah.
All right, go for it, Allie.
I'm not usually a big burger person, so this was really hard for me because also I felt like it was hard to pick worst. Because I was like, I don't know which one truly was the worst that I've ever had. So I really struggled, like you, with picking this. For me, and I think you mentioned this yesterday when we were previewing First to Worst, very subjective when it comes to this. And this is just one that I really do enjoy. And that is the Bacon King burger from Burger King.
Wow, Burger King.
I really love that burger. But I'm also sure there's burgers from Burger King that aren't the best. And so I didn't know you were going with just brand. But there we go.
No,
I'm going
I think if you have
I'm going with the King.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I mean,
I think both versions of how we're doing this is fine.
Yeah, they got the Whopper, but as far as like a specific burger from that restaurant, from that fast food restaurant, the Bacon King is my favorite.
Okay.
It's huge. All you need is the burger. That's the meal. Like, you don't need anything else. For worst, I am going with Dairy Queen's original cheeseburger. I've never gone to here's the thing, Dairy Queen's commercials, they make the food look great.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, maybe I'll give it a shot, maybe I'll give it a try. But I've never gone to Dairy Queen and been happy, similar to with Sonic or with you, with the burgers there. But I've never been happy that I got food instead of ice cream. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's what they're meant for. They're meant for ice cream.
They're there for the ice cream, the food. I mean, I've had okay food experiences at Dairy Queen, but it would never be in my lunch rotation.
No, it can be quite questionable. But I do know some people really like their burgers, but that's the one I'm going with for worst.
All right, so here's where you come in. Allie and I have given our first and worst picks for best and worst fast food burgers. We need to know from you who made better picks. Who do you agree with more? And which burgers did we miss for first and worst? 877-2-RADIO-U. To reiterate, I think Culver's has the best burgers. Sonic, I'm picking for worst. Allie?
Burger King for best, and for worst, Dairy Queen.
Wait till you see Mark's text. He says, first of all, he says, any smashed burger is awful.
That's a tough take.
I can't agree with you on that, Mark. However, smashed burgers are not as good as a juicy burger. Like, you give me a
juicy burger
patty.
done well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he also says, I actually like Dairy Queen burgers, so I got to go with Hudson.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark, for your vote of confidence.
All right. And then we also let me see here. Yeah, we heard from Andrew. He said, Culver's is a good best. Dairy Queen is a good worst. Burger King is towards the worst. Steak and Shake has fire burgers. So I don't know who Andrew's voting for.
Sounded like a haiku for a minute there.
Yeah.
I think he's voting for me.
I mean, he agreed with my worst, but he also agreed with your best and then said that my Burger King best was the worst. So, that can be a vote for you.
And Steak and Shake was on my honorable mentions, but that, of course, that's a steak burger, which is more smash burger style. It's a thin patty with the crispy bits and whatever.
Yeah.
But I love the Frisco melt at Steak and Shake. And so now going to Steak and Shake is a gamble. You never know how long you're going to be waiting to get that burger. But when they send it out to you, though, it's usually really good. Shrew sent us on a wild ride. He said his favorite is Wendy's Double.
Okay.
His worst is just any plain hamburger without cheese.
Yeah, that's not very fun.
That might be the best way to judge a burger is to go to every fast food place and just get a
have
burger
a plain
without
burger.
Yeah, and
oh,
see.
that'd be so not fun.
He also says, I don't know that I've actually had Sonic or Dairy Queen burgers, but I guess I have to go with Allie out of principle because Dairy Queen is kind of garbage.
All right.
Yeah, so that's another vote for you.
All right, and then we heard from Regina. She said go in Hudson. Bonus points for Culver's is their gluten-free bun, also free of dairy and eggs, which is rare.
That's why I picked it.
Oh, really?
No.
I mean, it is cool that Culver's offers that because, they're from Wisconsin. They're known for cheese.
Yeah.
So to have anything dairy-free is a miracle for Culver's.
That is that's actually a good point. Susanna says, I've never had any of those burgers, but voting for Allie because she's the McChicken queen.
Aww.
But she's not the burger queen.
Aw, thank you, Susanna.
All right, so check this out. My other honorable mentions. The quarter pounder of cheese from McDonald's is great.
Okay.
I strongly consider picking that. Wendy's Baconator, great.
Yes.
That was high in my rankings. I have mentioned Steak and Shake. And also Hardee's can have very good burgers.
I've never had Hardee's, but I have heard that their burgers are really good.
Yeah. And then for worst, I don't like White Castle sliders, how they come, if that even counts. They're sliders, but they're burgers.
I've never had White Castle either.
But if I get them without onions, I actually think they aren't always bad.
Okay.
I do think, talking about sliders, if you've ever heard of Crystal Burgers, which is in the South, they also do sliders. Not good.
Okay.
Not good.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, so if I was really following my heart of like the worst place I do not want to get a burger from, it's probably Crystal's.
Okay.
What
But
were your
most people wouldn't have known.
If you
Yeah.
haven't been to the South, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not why all across the entire country as
Gotcha.
much.
Yeah, I've been down to the South plenty of times, and I don't even remember seeing that. So,
What is? Do you have any other honorable mentions that we didn't get to bring up?
I almost went with Big Mac just because it's so iconic.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
But it's got too much for me.
Too much in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the special sauce, not bad.
I do like the special sauce.
I also, I can't believe we haven't had really people saying In-N-Out, but I've never been.
I haven't either.
I've never been to In-N-Out. I've never been to Shake Shack.
I haven't been there either.
Yeah.
There's so many places I haven't tried.
All right, a big burger blind spot for both of us.
Yeah.
There's Shake Shacks right around. We got to go on a road trip.
Okay.
That's what we should do for lunch today.
Yeah.
Don't know if you saw this, but we got a text in at 8772 Radio U from Emily. She says, I work at an animal hospital and we have the sweetest dog in the isolation ward for kennel cough. And I definitely have Radio U on for her to keep her company.
Oh, that is the sweetest text we've ever received.
We're doing the show for a sick dog this morning.
Oh, Emily, please let us know the name of this puppy so we can call her a good girl.
Yeah, maybe pictures would also be good. We definitely are always here for dog pictures at 8772 Radio U. Allie, if you, now knowing that we're doing the show for a sick dog in mind, are there any like topics we should cover?
Anything we would change?
If we were doing the show for dogs instead of people, what would we do differently?
Maybe instead of first to worst burgers, we would do first to worst dog treats.
Yeah, we probably would.
Yeah.
The milk bones.
Yes.
Those are worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've tried them?
Yes. Trust me.
Your dog just doesn't like them.
Trust me on. She actually doesn't. Yeah.
She doesn't like them.
She does not like them.
Okay.
My dog is so weird though. She loves human food, but very picky, and I guess that translates into dog treats as well. Milk bones not for her. She will refuse them. She does not care.
Oh,
about milk
wow.
bones. Yeah.
Okay, she is a picky eater. Because
She-
I feel like most dogs just, whatever dog treat it is, they're down.
And there's some certain things that, like, let's say we were just talking about burgers. If I gave Zafira the dog a burger, but it had certain toppings on it, she would more than likely eat the burger, but leave those toppings out.
Yeah.
Like pickles. She doesn't normally like pickles.
Interesting.
Isn't that so crazy?
That is really crazy. I was just talking with my cousins, Kathy and Nick. They have a golden doodle named Leo. Pope Leo, I call him.
That worked out well.
But he eats anything. Literally anything.
Yeah, I know a lot of dogs are like that where they'll eat stones in the backyard if you let them. You're keeping your eye on them.
That's Leo. He would eat anything. Mulch, leaves, whatever, and then he'll be in the backyard throwing it all up.
Yeah.
But
you got to really watch them.
Yeah.
Or, obviously, like the classic thing with dogs is you got to watch the chocolate. But Saphira the dog, Saphira does not eat chocolate. We've never had to worry about her. I mean, and the truth is, right, it can be dangerous, but just because your dog ingests a Reese cup doesn't mean they're going to die most of the time.
But it's just not good for them.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. But for Saphira the dog, she's not tempted by that, which is shocking to me.
Okay.
It's just shocking that she knows how good human food can be. But chocolate, she does not interested at all. But I mean, that's good. It makes life easy on me, I guess.
That's great for you.
Hopefully the dog in the kennel with kennel cough is appreciating this conversation.
Yeah, I hope that she is entertained.
Text in, dog in the isolation ward. Are you the kind of dog that just eats anything? Or 8772 Radio U. I don't know what else we could do to tailor the show to dogs.
I think this is about all we got.
It. What if you knew we were going to be doing a show just for dogs, would we do it in like baby talk, basically? Because there's some people that talk to dogs and they're like, "Who's a good girl?"
Yeah,
would we do the whole show that way?
I don't do that.
No.
I don't do that. But because I don't even talk to my cat that way usually.
Yeah.
Like when I first get home, I'll be like, "Oh, my baby," but then after that, I won't talk to her in a baby talk voice at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe what we could do, the only other thing I could think of to make it dog centric is we do a break about Air Bud.
The movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like the cultural impact of Air Bud.
But what's crazy is like dogs these days are not even old enough.
They don't know what Air Bud is.
Yeah, right. I don't know if there's any dog that was alive today that was alive when Air Bud was released.
I don't like to think about that.
Yeah. Feels good. Summertime's basically here. I mean, Memorial Day weekend coming up that kicks things off. And for summertime, you got to look good. You got to have that tan, right? But tanning can be dangerous. Some people don't live in a place where you could even get tan. And so what some people are doing is something called carrot maxing.
Okay.
8772 Radio U. Carrot maxing. Let us know if you've tried this or seen this. It's where you just literally eat a ton. I guess not literally, but you just eat a ton of carrots because this has been shown in the past. If you eat a lot of carrots, you do start to take on an orange hue. Like that's a real thing that happens. And so that can be an alternative to tanning. But people that have already started carrot maxing for the summer have shown their cautionary tales of why it might not be a good idea because best case scenario, you turn really orange, which is not the same as a tan.
Nope.
Worst case scenario, you wind up in the ER.
Oh, no.
Bet you didn't know that eating carrots could send you to the emergency room, but it's true.
I mean, any amount, like too much of something can be bad,
too
right?
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Even carrots. Now, the culprit for the people that have been wound up in the hospital is not necessarily the carrots themselves.
Okay.
But the kind of carrots that these people are using is canned carrots. And if you're going with canned carrots, those are high enough in sodium that when you're eating a ton of them, you can get way too much sodium in your system.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good choice to do the canned carrots. Maybe instead buy like baby carrots or just like regular carrots that you'd have to peel.
Yeah. I've got a gal here named Sydney who said she was consuming 6 cans of sliced carrots a day.
6 cans?
6 entire cans.
Why?
That's 5,250 milligrams of sodium a day. That sent her to the emergency room with mild organ failure. Oh my gosh. Organ failure from carrots.
Oh, yeah, okay. Don't do this. Don't do this.
I mean, there's the old saying, right? You can't have too much of a good thing. Everything in moderation. That flies directly in the face of maxing anything. And that includes carrots. You cannot just go whole hog 6 cans of carrots a day,
No.
you are risking a lot. You could wind up in the emergency room.
You're going to regret it.
And it's just not going to be the same as a tan.
As a real tan, yeah. Because I see a picture here of like this person clearly wasn't eating the canned version of carrots because they didn't end up with, overload on sodium.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned a very unnatural orange color.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look good. It looks more like maybe, you have some health issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a good look. And
if anything, it's like a bad spray tan that just doesn't come off on people's hands or,
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if you're worried about, skin cancer or something else with tanning out in the sun,
mm-hmm.
I would say the better option instead of carrot maxing would be to go and get a spray tan.
Mm-hmm.
Not the tan in like the tanning bed because I know that also has issues with it.
Yeah, definitely.
But like a spray tan or just like, tan that you can put on yourself, like you can rub on. There's also like tan mister things now where you can just spray yourself and it helps bring out a natural glow.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a little bit more subtle. So there's plenty of ways you can do this. I feel like every time we talk about the trends with maxing anything, there's always bad involved.
Because
it just doesn't go well.
You're foregoing so many other kinds of things in pursuit of just one single thing.
Right.
But not realizing all the unintended consequences of being singularly focused on having a tan or whatever else it is that you're maxing to try to get.
Yeah, eating 6 cans of carrots per day. Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.